What's up, everybody? Seafood Jeffrey John Cox, red shirt, WT system. So, great stuff. Not just in the footnotes, but in this book. I agreed with every page I read, except for, I think, page 213. And I don't even remember what I disagreed with on page 213. But that's a pretty good achievement, to write a Wing Chun book and not get any disagreement for me. What? So that's my only disagreement in that book. And then I got to buy a few more now, so I have a complete collection, and that will sponsor that program. I don't even know if I'll ever train with those wonderful people, but I want them to be there if I have the opportunity. So I'm going to finish up with this idea of how, in part, how charity works, and then in truth, what sponsorship means, and what a subscription means, what a membership, this idea. It's a charity idea. You ready? So, when you arrive to a point in your life where you need a thing, like the YMCA, it better be there when you arrive and need it. I don't need it right now, but maybe I subscribe to the YMCA, and once in a while I use the pool, right? And I look at the bill, and I'm saying, like, that's a lot. But all of a sudden I get kicked out of the house and I'm homeless, and I need a shower and a locker, and I need I need the YMCA all of a sudden, right? I'm glad it's there. I'm glad sometimes I used it and put a little money into that pot. We're not using the YMCA now, I hope. But we're at a different gym now. But we're putting money in these pots, so those things are there, right? And then this circular cycle of money, right? And then those people work and get paid, and they might go buy food at the farmer's market where I go. So I need people working, so they have money to work to go to the farmer's market. It can't just be my secret. Man. So a sponsorship, like an Iron Dog Gym sponsorship in the Patreon, is just a monthly extraction from your bank account. Little $3, $10. Come on. And if you finally notice, like, oh man, I'm out of money, why is it? And you're going to look for things, then turn the $3 off and drink your cup of coffee instead, right? But that's how sponsorship's supposed to run. You're not supposed to be right at the start, like, I just can't afford to sponsor Sifu Alex Richter's podcast. Bitch, you watch every single one of them, and you ain't sponsored it? Sifu Alex Richter's podcast? And then they're okay, well, you got all 5 of his books though, right? And they're like, no, I just love the stuff. And you're like, dude, well, what do you do for a living? And then they tell you how much money they make, and you're like, these people have no charity in their heart. See what I'm saying? That's a guilt trip if you need it. You shouldn't need a guilt trip. It should just be selfish. Like, man, I want to keep hearing podcasts. Right? So, that'll be a Christmas present again for Sifu Richter if I have $50, right? Does that make sense? So I wish you would all sponsor me. If I could get 20 or 30 of you to sponsor me at around $10, then I could talk crap to the wife and say, look, I got this little cottage industry, and if I get more space from you guys, right, and I just throw some ad revenue on it, I could have 30 or 40 people pay me $100 a month. Yeah, I could have $4,000 coming in easily with what I teach. But I don't have the space at the time because I have family. So I'm in this thing. I've been in this thing for like 10 years now, where I'm saying to y'all on the internet, like, right, buy me a sandwich every month. Now, if you're actually legit and you pay your teacher $100 a month, you should pay a teacher $100 a month. You should. Then go get another job. Quit training martial arts if you don't got an extra $100 to pay into the martial art community. Right? You're obviously not paying me, because I know the one guy who pays me. I got one patron. Now 2 of you have come in and gone, and so one of those, he did the 300, so he did a red envelope. So I got 2 patrons. And most of my stuff's already free through the YouTube, right? So you don't have to pay for Patreon. You see? it's your charity in your heart, and you're realizing like he does this anyway, but I need to make sure he can keep doing it. You hear me? So I went and got a job at the karate school. So I teach kids karate now. I do Kempo, right? It's like I'm a kid again. And I'm good. I just walked in and he watched me move and I was hired, right? That's Ed Moss. I didn't do anything. And I teach the adults, and now I can teach my own stuff, right? So back in the storefront, and it's very exciting. Costs money though. He's paying me money. So I've made more money, right? I made more money just in a few months working there than I made in all the last decade, 2 decades probably, right? So I've been, I should have been making wooden dummies with the chisel instead of trying to teach, right? I should have just surrendered to kids karate, and I should have a chain of like kids kung fu, right? That would be cool. I'd like to have more money to make better videos, right? I'd like to have 10 of you asking me questions and 10 of you getting private answers through the Vimeo Patreon system so that you can get better and I can put videos out there for something more than a Chum-Q Monad. That's the free stuff, right? That's the stuff I tell someone on Saturday they walk in the door. All right. Enough of my pride.